Even in 2022, real estate is one of the best ways to make a lot of money. But real estate investments require a lot of money upfront to buy properties, right? Well, that's not true anymore. What if I told you that there is a very easy way to get into real estate and make a lot of money without having to have a lot of money upfront? Well, that's exactly what I want to discuss in this video today. So make sure to stick around till the end to know how your favorite real estate tycoons make their money from real estate. Real estate investments don't have to be complicated anymore. In fact, the benefits of investing in real estate are huge, especially if you do it with the right kind of assets and with right strategies. In that case, you as an investor can enjoy predictable cash flow, tax benefits, diversification in your investment portfolio, and more importantly, excellent returns. But if you don't have enough money to get into real estate, then you could try out the BRRRR method. But wait, what is that? This is a 5-step investment strategy, and it is an acronym that stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. This method primarily involves using cash or some form of short-term financing to purchase an undervalued property and then rehabbing it by making necessary improvements to bring it up to today's standards, which would then increase its value. Once it's ready for tenants, the investor will decide to rent it out and eventually refinance it to recover their investments before repeating the process with another property. This is a very lucrative strategy, which will enable new or seasoned real estate investors to build a property portfolio that can provide them long-term passive income without needing a huge amount of upfront capital. Let me discuss this in detail. 1. Buying the ideal property. Buying the ideal property is the very first step in the BRRRR method. You need to find a good real estate deal under fair market value. The goal is to buy a distressed property under fair market value, which for those of you who don't know, happens to be the valuation of a property or asset based on the current housing market conditions, which you as an investor can then rehab with a reasonable investment in order to increase its value. 2. Rehabbing the property. Once the property is acquired, investors will need to invest some money to make necessary improvements, thereby making the property rentable. The more time spent on rehabbing the property, the less money the investment will make in rental income. So there is a sweet spot between investing the right amount to keep the rehab costs limited to improvements, which will then give you a significant return on investment. The goal here is to not flip your property and sell it as quickly as possible, but to hold on to your rental property for as long as possible to build equity. 3. Renting the property. Depending on where you live, most banks won't refinance unoccupied investment properties, so you as an investor will need to find reliable tenants as soon as possible to start building new cash flow, because if you need to pay off your mortgage, you need rental income and to build equity as the property goes through a year-long seasoning period, which is the amount of time that has gone by since the initial financing, which most banks require before refinancing. Most banks consider mortgages under a year old unseasoned because not enough time has passed to determine whether the borrower is actually reliable, making refinancing a bigger risk for lenders. 4. Refinancing the property. After renting the renovated property and allowing the loan to become seasoned, you as an investor can now apply for refinancing with a mortgage under mortgage lender at its after repair value, which is the property's estimated value after undergoing specific repairs and renovations to get a return on your investment. Banks generally offer 2 types of refinancing: cash out or pay back the outstanding debt. Cash out refinancing is when a borrower is granted a new loan that is worth more than what they owe on the current mortgage, so they could use the surplus amount for home improvements, investments, or one-off purchases. If you have a choice, you should opt for the cash out method, because this is more desirable for this particular investment strategy, as it will give you the capital to invest in another property. The final step in this method of investing is to repeat the cycle by purchasing another property with the cash you receive from refinancing. This investment strategy will enable you to grow your real estate portfolio by recycling your capital rather than repeatedly saving up large amounts of money to make new investments, which is almost impossible for a lot of people, which would then make it difficult to get into the real estate business. Now, if you made it this far, consider subscribing to my channel for more videos just like this one, and turn on post notifications so that you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. That brings us to the next question. What exactly are the potential advantages for this method? Well, it has several advantages over other real estate investment strategies like flipping. First and foremost, it requires much less upfront capital, especially when done correctly. With this strategy, you mainly need enough money for a down payment and potentially some closing costs if the approved loan is too low. You, as an investor, will receive passive income. Now, for those of you who don't know, passive income simply refers to any income stream derived from investments, like real estate properties that do not require daily active involvement from your side. You're not getting paid based on how many hours of work you're putting in. Instead, you just have to put in some work in the beginning and then some as you get paid. This strategy will also help investors build equity as rental income, which will be sufficient enough to make payments towards the mortgage. This will then be a valuable asset that can serve as leverage when applying for loans or lower mortgage costs. You, as an investor, will also be able to recover the initial investment after refinancing, because refinancing at the after-repair value rather than the original mortgage amount presents you the opportunity to recover that initial investment. Now, with any investment comes the risk element, and the same holds true for the BRRRR method as well. You see, there are some properties that require extensive renovations, and these are innovation projects that can be very expensive, labor-intensive, and time-consuming. As an investor, you need to prepare for the unexpected, even if you plan to do the renovation all by yourself, because anything can go wrong with your property that you may have not noticed before purchase. Banks will refinance the property based on the appraisal value, which its licensed home appraiser determines. This means that investors run the risk that the appraised value will be lower than what they estimated it to be. So that's something you need to keep in mind. The refinancing bank will also require investors to wait up to 12 months before refinancing due to the bank's required seasoning period. This means that you will have to wait a year or longer to access equity to finance the very next property. Sometimes it can be difficult to find the right kind of tenants, especially the ones that are reliable. This is a serious problem because the most important part of this strategy is the rental income. You need to use the tenant's rent money to pay the mortgage and build equity. If you cannot find good tenants that meet specific income and credit requirements, then you will have to pay the mortgage with your own money, and that doesn't sound good unless you have a lot of money lying around. But again, with any investment strategy, risks are always part of the game, and the same is the case with real estate investment. Real estate investments involve risks like financial losses, depreciation of assets, or legal ramification. So this video is not a financial advice video by any means, and any investments that you make in real estate or just about anything else must be done at your own risk, because anything can happen if you don't play your cards right. The BRRRR method in real estate offers investors one of the best ways to generate passive income, at the same time helping them grow investment holdings. So, if you're comfortable with renovation and flipping rental properties, which is no easy task by any means, it can help you grow your real estate portfolio and build considerable wealth over time. This method ultimately requires vision, commitment, and an appetite for risk, considering how much time, effort, and money is required to pursue. If you're a committed investor with an eye for real estate, this might be the right investment strategy for you.